Jazz was born in the streets and dance halls of New Orleans, a completely American art form. Its essence is improvisation. Most of the music is arranged on the spot. Tracing the roots of jazz often comes back to Negro spirituals, improvised blends of African American rhythms and scales with European harmonies of Christian church hymns. In turn, this music spawned the birth of the blues. The structure of blues is very simple: 12 bars in 3 groups of 4 measures each, creating an A-B pattern. And the singer slides into lowered pitches. Here is a recording of Bessie Smith singing Lost Your Head Blues. Ragtime is also a parent of jazz, a type of piano music that used conventional harmonies and classic forms. The left hand was steady and march-like, and the right hand played in syncopation. In other words, the beats were on the offbeats. They weren't on the same beats as the left-hand march pattern. And it used runs and ornaments. Scott Joplin, a classically trained pianist, was considered the king of rag. New Orleans is considered the birthplace of jazz, where French, Spanish, Anglo-Saxon, Caribbean, and German cultures freely mixed with emancipated blacks. It evolved into a popular musical style in black social clubs and fraternal organizations which hired bands for funerals and dances. Dance bands consisted of a rhythm section, drums with a guitar or a banjo, a tuba or a string bass, sometimes a piano, and a front line which consisted of a cornet, the trumpet which plays the melody, and a clarinet and a trombone which support it. This New Orleans style of jazz came to be called Dixieland, tunes with many variations in a collective improvisation. Louis Armstrong was one of the big names in Dixieland, famous for his hot trumpet improvisations and for his scat singing a melody using all nonsense syllables. Jazz migrated north after a time, and Chicago became its next great capital, bringing in the era of swing. This style was played by big bands, which consisted of about 15 players divided into 3 sections: sax, brass, and percussion. With this many performers, the music needed to be arranged, and Duke Ellington became known for his arranging. Saxophones became the most prominent solo instruments. Featured singers included Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, and Frank Sinatra. Listen to this work by Duke Ellington as it passes the solo work around the band to explore different tone colors. Another style of big band swing was developed for ballrooms, led by bands by Tommy Dorsey, Glenn Miller, and Benny Goodman. Here is the Tommy Dorsey Swing Band in action. In the 1940s, jazz saw the development of bop, or bebop, a reaction of some talented musicians to the stifling organization of big bands. This was a more sophisticated type of jazz, played by smaller groups of 4 to 6 players, and was meant for listening, not dancing. There was more rhythmic variety in bop. The harmonies were more intricate, the beat was faster, the bass provided the beat rather than percussion. Dizzy Gillespie was a big name in this style of jazz. After World War II came the development of progressive jazz, a more intellectual jazz written by composers who were classically trained. Some groups used old classical forms. The modern jazz quartet used the rondo and the fugue. They even used classical compositions and musical theater songs as springboards for jazz. New meters were explored. Dave Brubeck used 5/4 and 9/8. Listen to the rhythms in this unsquared dance, written by Dave Brubeck, written in 7/4 time. So if you're going to do 7/4 time, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And it's totally not what you're used to hearing. Finally, jazz fusion combines the rhythms of rock with the improvisation of jazz, mixing synthesizers with acoustic instruments.